Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for coming and downloading and listening and watching another episode of What Else Is Going On podcast. I'm your girl, Taria. Y'all, I am super, super, super excited. So y'all know that I love content. I love putting it out, but I love consuming it. This person that I have on, if you can see him, I'm sure if you know who I am, you definitely know who he is. If you are listening, I have on someone that I found last year. And when I tell you I love his content, one thing that I gravitate to is content creators that they are strong in their opinions, but they normalize considering a different view when they get new information. They're not so set in their ways that they think that they're always right. When they hear new information, they'll comment on it. And if they agree, they agree. If not, this person always gives me another side to think about things. Not only does he talk reality TV, he talks pop culture, he talks politics, he talks real life, everything that this podcast was supposed to be built on, real life and reality TV life and how they intersect. He's funny, he's smart. I love his interviews. I love that when he interviews people, he is very much the same across the board. He does not change. He asks the questions that we want the answers to. He knows how to phrase those questions. And I feel like he gets the most out of the people that he interviews. Y'all, please welcome Aaron, aka House of Aaron.
What is going on? That was the best intro, excuse me, that I've ever had. You are so sweet. I just fell in love. Literally, y'all. Taria is the best. We met virtually last week
Yep.
doing a panel on Martha's Vineyard, and you are literally the sweetest.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Aaron. I told Aaron before we started recording that and I'm telling my age by using this word, but I don't care, whatever. But it's just so dope to me to be having a two-sided conversation, or he's normally in my ear, but now we are having conversation. And
Dialogue.
I love smart people. I love people that can have conversation, and you have a way of having conversation again that can provoke a person to a feeling. Because I feel like if you're having conversation and no one's moved, then what's the point of the conversation? Even if they don't agree with you, if you're provoking some sort of emotion, some sort of response, I think then you're doing your job. And you do that. One of the first interviews I saw of yours, and of course I went back and binged, was Dr. Heavenly, and I loved the interview. I absolutely loved it. Yes.
I think that's one of the worst ones.
No, I loved it. I loved it.
I was so in my head during that moment because it was live. I do not do lives. I cannot stand a live. I like to sit down and edit the audio, take stuff out, add stuff in, add context and pictures. If I look crazy in the moment, I like to take that out. Or if they sound a mess, the person that I'm interviewing, I just like to edit everything. So number one, it was on her platform. It was live. Number two, her audience was so harsh and so mean. And when you're live, you really have to ignore stuff like that because it was like, it was starting to get to me. So I was like, I couldn't even focus. But that was literally like one of the most terrifying things I ever did, to be honest.
You know why I liked it? Because even though you said that you were getting out of your head, I've seen people be on a live and be sure in their opinions or their thoughts or their conversation. And then once they start reading, they do an entire 180. And it's not like doubling down and saying, oh, okay, I see you guys are saying such and such. They did an entire 180 that made me like, I don't even know who you are or even where you stand on this, because now you're changing it. I appreciate the fact that you were also honest. No, I didn't see this. No, I didn't see that. But this is what I felt when I saw X, Y, and Z. Could you answer that for me? And I'm not the biggest fan, I'll just say, of her. I appreciate what she brings to the show. And all of that. And I will say the audiences sometimes, or the viewers and the people in the lives, can sometimes have tunnel vision when it comes to if you're in opposition of who they support. But I truly felt like I enjoyed it because I felt like you were honest in the interview. You didn't, like I said, flip in the middle of the interview just to try to win them over or win them back.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. One thing about it is I'll be nervous and I'll be freaked out by the comments, but I'm not really going to change my opinion. Of course, it'll evolve with more information. Of course, when you're doing an interview, you'll have, someone else's perspective. And that usually always happens. I usually view a person a lot differently after the interview. And I'm like, oh, so you're not so bad. Or, now I kind of get why you said or did certain things. But for the most part, my opinion pretty much is my opinion. And of course, I'm going to make it palatable to your face. But I'm always going to try to offer something that is contrary to, how they feel or how the people feel at home as well. So they call me a contrarian, which I don't really feel like I am. I really feel like the thing about me is I root for underdogs.
Okay.
And I think that comes with a sort of like contrarian sort of attitude, or that's how people perceive it, because I'm usually trying to advocate or see things from the person's point of view that is really not as popular,
Yeah.
or sometimes the person that's misunderstood. And I think the viewers take that as me being contrarian, but no, that's how I really feel. And I mean, I think a part of that is the way that I grew up, um, and stuff like that. But that's how I really feel. I don't try to be contrarian just for no reason. I don't try to like disagree for no reason. So yeah, my opinion is my opinion, and it's not. It'll evolve, but it's pretty much not changing.
Not change. Well, it's funny because I feel like I know some contrarians, and to me, I don't think you're a contrarian. I think you root for the underdog, like you said. And to me, a contrarian doesn't always offer a reason that makes sense as to why they feel like they feel. So to me, it comes across you're being a contrarian just because.
For a reaction.
For a reaction. And to me,
Yeah.
those are the types where it's like, well, I can't take you seriously because you truly don't believe what you're saying. You're just
Yeah.
doing it to be opposite. And that works for some content
A
creators.
troll.
Yeah, yes, a troll. And even not even content creators, but just people in life. It's like, okay, your argument doesn't even make sense, especially when you're watching a show and you're like, okay, if we're not talking about what happened off the show, if we're going by what we see, how are you offering something totally opposite to what we're seeing if that's what we're discussing? So that to me is a contrarian when they just want to do that. But you talked a little bit about based on how you grew up, which I was getting ready to get into. I'm always interested in people when they have strong opinions and then they do have public platforms, and we know the feedback that we can get, where that strength comes from and being able to maintain your opinion, your view, your thought, or share an opinion or view or thought that is going to be opposite, not just with friends and family, but again, with your big platform. Where did that come from? Was it nurtured in you? Were you always like that? Or was it based on an experience that you had?
As far as rooting for the underdog piece, really specifically in high school, I was always the person. Of course, you have your outliers, your people who aren't really, popular and stuff like that. I feel like I wasn't a popular person in school, but I also wasn't, I don't think I was at the bottom of the totem pole and whatnot. And kind of always saw myself being attracted to the people that no one liked or no one was really paying attention to. And I know a lot of my friends would come up to me and they would be like, why are you talking to her? Or why are you friends with her? Or why are you sitting by her in lunch? Or just randomly. And I'll be like, I don't know, because, she's talking to me. I like her. She's cool. And you guys are bullies. You get what I'm saying? And so I don't know. I've always kind of just empathized with the underdogs, and it makes me, feel like an advocate in some way.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the part when I say the way that I grew up. What was the other part of the question?
Or just you being able to be rooted in
In my
solid
opinion?
in your opinions and being confident in your thought processes and your opinions, especially when you know that they're going to be contrary to the popular.
Well, I I don't know. I just try. I feel like I want to be the content creator that I want to watch.
Mm.
Personally, I don't want to be the content creator that doesn't have an opinion. I don't want to be the content creator that is beholden to a brand deal or beholden to a certain person because they have a certain connection. I know Wendy Williams all the time during her early years on TV used to say, I do my job and I show up. I don't really have friends. you know? And I think as a content creator at a certain point, especially when you're in the entertainment industry, you build connections. I never would have thought that when I started being a content creator that I would be meeting housewives and interviewing housewives and be on TV and be invited into these spaces. Like that was not my goal at all. I never wanted to be in the same spaces as celebrities. But even, even with my, I guess you could say, career or my journey taking me there, it really has not shifted my focus on being the content creator that I want to see. I know a lot of people, they start to build those connections and they start to make friends in the industry, and it's like they become a plant. They become bought and paid for. They get on their payroll, right? When the people in the comments be like, "Oh, you must be on such and such payroll."
Right.
You know, again, of course, with growth, you have to shape your opinion. I just don't want to be out here saying any and everything just because it's my opinion. With any industry or career, you have to kind of play politics, right? Which is something that I'm still working on. But again, I want to be the content creator that I want to watch. I don't want to watch someone that doesn't have an opinion. I don't want to watch someone that's scared to say how they really feel just because they may be friends or cool with a Dr. Heavenly
Yeah.
or a Candy or a Phaedra or what have you. So, yeah.
I like that. I agree with that too. And I like how you said, of course, as you build connections, you have to shape your opinion, because sometimes, or you can't just come. For me, I don't want to just come. I want to be able to say how I feel without having necessarily to be nasty. Like, I don't have to come on and say so-and-so is a loser, so-and-so is this. I can say I don't agree with their behavior. I think their behavior was trash versus calling them trash. So you're right. And if you want doors to be continued to be open, I mean, that's in any job. You can't just say the first
Can't
thing
do
that comes
anything,
across.
right?
Yeah, you can't just say and do anything. So I appreciate that about you. You said that Dr. Heavenly's was maybe the worst one you've done. What was your favorite? Not even from a perspective of, oh, I ask great questions or audience engagement. What was your favorite interview that you've done was just fun and brought joy to you in doing?
I really enjoyed an interview that nobody watched, Jalen Banks. Um,
Okay.
the ex to Fallon Guabadia.
Yes. Yes.
Loved it. First off, in person, I do not like virtual. I get nervous on virtual. I just think speaking to a box, even when I do my regular videos, I get like anxiety, I get nervous. But when it's like an in-person energy, it's like I feel more comfortable and I feel like we're friends. Like we just sitting on the
Yes.
couch talking to each other. Um, so it was an in-person interview. And he was just really cool. And it felt like I was talking to a friend. It was very natural. And I felt like I really got to dig deep into who he was. And it totally, again, changed my perspective on him. And he
Okay.
was comfortable enough. I like when I get to interview people and I can kind of like be a little shady and I can, ask tough questions and they don't
Yes.
really take offense to it. They take it
Yep.
on the chin, like, okay, it is what it is. Those are my favorite people to interview because that's how I am. If you do your research, if you're a celebrity or a reality TV star and you're going to do an interview, you should do your research on who you're doing the interview with.
Yep.
Everybody knows my style. I think I'm nice, but I'm like, can throw in some jabs and a little shade here and there. So if you can take that and be okay with it, I love interviewing people like that. So Jalen Banks was amazing. I really did like that interview, but nobody watched it. Womp, womp, womp.
Isn't that something though? Because I find that too. There's certain housewives or people on TV that you interview, and you're like, I wonder how well this is going to do, and it could do great, or you have the time of your life, and you're like, wow. Like I've had some people come on from YouTube that I guess because the energy is maybe slightly different, that they're more viewed than or more downloaded than my housewives episodes that
Yeah,
I've interviewed. So it just all depends. So I'm definitely
yeah.
with you on that. I'm an in-person person too. Before I started this podcast with the other one, it would definitely, it would be like a lot of work because I didn't even use Zoom then before the pandemic. So you're talking over the phone, they're calling in, my phone is hooked up, to the speaker, and you can't really see the person or feel their energy, or are they going to talk? Are you going to talk? So it took
Right.
a lot to try to make a person feel comfortable. But I'm with you too. I would much prefer to do in person if I could do that. Cause like you said, you can sense someone's energy. You can just connect in a different way.
Vibe better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if right now today, who would be a person that you would want to sit down with and just not even necessarily interview, but just have a filmed conversation with?
Mm, that's hard.
And it doesn't have to be reality TV. It could be political, not political. It could be,
that is so hard. Housewives related, Tanya Sam is on my bucket list. Love Tanya Sam. I really want to get to the bottom. Why did you leave? Um, let's see. Outside of Housewives, I don't know. Political? Mm, I'm not sure. Honestly, outside of Housewives, I would say Cal Anthony. Do you know who that is?
no.
He is the CEO, founder of the Neighborhood Talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. I didn't know the last. Yes. Okay.
He
Okay.
he has a really interesting story. I know Tommy Lee came out. Tommy from Love and Hip Hop and Baddies, she went on to the Jason Lee show and told this story about how she beat him up because he had posted a story about her. I guess it was negative, and saw him at a party and ended up like having her guy friends beat him up. And so I think he has a really interesting story as far as like his journey running this blog. I feel like there's a lot of stories there. There's a lot of background that people don't know. So I would really love to interview him.
That is
Him and Tanya Sam are on my bucket list. Yeah.
okay. So we're manifesting that because I would
Yeah.
definitely like to hear from both, especially you telling that story about what Tommy talked about. I don't think people realize what goes into even though you don't may not see his face, but clearly a lot goes into it.
Mhm.
Navigating relationships, navigating the people that you're coming in contact with. I mean, you're out somewhere and somebody wants to fight you because of something that you
That
posted
you said. Yeah.
that you like. Yeah, I've thought about that too. Like when you see, like if I were to run into, some of these people that you talk about, or even some of the people that you've interviewed, I'll say, I feel like people always think that these housewives and reality stars need to be careful of content creators. Like, oh, they just want to be in your face. They just want to get close to you. But I
No, we
feel
don't.
and I feel like we actually need to be careful because they will try to use you to do their dirty work.
Speak on it.
It's like, it's not us trying to befriend them. I can promise you, I have enough friends, not that I'm not open to more, and if it happens organically, but I don't need to have you in my phone just to say I have this housewife in my phone and there's no real connection. Or if I want to text you about, girl, I saw you in an interview, you did great, then my phone rings and you want to run down the whole season. Nah, I ain't really trying because you want me to put it out there. And then when I don't put it out there, I see it on different blogs weeks later, which lets me know that you're telling everybody everything.
Korea, speak on it.
So
That is the truth. I'm the type of person, even with content creators, it's not just people on TV, even with other content creators, I'm kind of closed off. I'm a nice person, but my thing is if we do a collab, we'll do the collab. And then, I'm not the type
you're
of
never going
person,
to talk to
hey
me
girl.
again? You just told me you
No, 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 no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, if I vibe with you, I vibe with you. But most of the times, it's like, okay, we do our job and it's not personal at all. That's just literally my personality. I'm not like the sort of person that wants to keep in contact with
I know what
everybody
you
or
mean.
try to be friends with everybody. So with the people onto the TV screen, it's I agree with you. They'll try to use you. I interviewed this one lady on Housewives of I shouldn't say that. I interviewed this one lady.
I'm going to ask you off just so you know.
I interviewed this one lady. We did the interview. Interview was great. I was so gracious that her PR people reached out to me. So a lot of the times they'll reach out to me. I won't even reach out. They'll be like, "Oh, do you want to do an interview with XXX, X, Y, and Z?" I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." Did the interview. She gave me her number, didn't ask for her number. I'm like Wendy Williams. I do my job and I go home. She gave me her number voluntarily. then started texting me talking about, so what did you think about the season? And what did you think about this? And well, let me tell you about this. And I'm like, I didn't even ask for this information. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not, not wanting the information,
Right, right.
but it's just such an eye opener to see that it's really the celebrities that try to befriend the content creators so that they can kind of like get into your head so that you go on your platform and spew their narrative.
Because they
Right?
want you to feel like you're the special one. I think you're special. I gave you my number. And then you find out, child, you didn't gave 19 other people your number too. And like you said, not
Mhm.
that I don't want the information. I specifically had to tell someone one time, it kept telling me stuff. And and every time they would tell me, I would say, just so you know, this conversation is between me and you. It's not going anywhere, because I picked up on what they were trying to do. So the very last time I talked to them about something, I said, just so you know, this conversation isn't going anywhere unless you want me to talk about it, which then you'd have to tell me directly. Because
Mm.
you're not going to try to play in my face either. You're not saying, hey, Taria, this happened. Can you talk about this on your platform? You're thinking that you're going to drop this information and then I'm going to get on here and say a source close to, which depending on what it is, sometimes, you will say that. But like, girl, you didn't spill me the whole season. Like, no, I'm not.
I would much rather you be like, hey, can you say this on your channel?
Yes,
Or
yes,
you got this wrong. Here's
yes.
the correct information.
Yes, I would I'll
Yeah.
do it if you say it, but to try, I don't like when people try to play me like I'm dumb, because I don't think I'm a dumb person,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to that. It's like, I know what you're doing. I've met some that I really have connected with on a level that's out. When you can connect with someone, like it just becomes authentic outside of this world is one thing. But if our connection is just based solely in this world, it's like, so what happens when you do something to piss me off and then I'm talking about it? I don't need you in my phone texting me. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
funny. People, because I find that fans of content creator, or not fans, but people that follow content creators and these celebrities, they will get on you like the content creator, like, oh, you're just trying to be friends. It's like, no.
No, baby, that's you. And you know who else does that? Bigger content creators. They will try to befriend you because they're manipulative and they need a team. Okay, they need a team of smaller content creators under them in order to push whatever narrative they're trying to push. These people are sneaky and they're manipulative. So
But
listen,
we see that happening with Jersey.
tell it,
Now they
tell it.
spilling all tea. It's like, so much so to
You're talking about the content creators who talk about Jersey?
and the ones that are coming out now saying that they were working for Jen and Teresa.
I don't follow any of that stuff.
Aaron,
I watch Jersey, but I don't really follow like the internet stuff.
it is so crazy. So basically, there was an account, and I'm gonna say the account because it's out there. Like, she's doing interviews and putting it out, called Melissa's Old Nose. So basically, they were being shady towards Melissa, and they would always post pro Teresa, pro Jen Aiden. They have released DMs where Jen Aiden has, I'm going to say allegedly, even though these things have been released, bought their baby a stroller. And hey, can you post this? This is getting ready to happen. This scene just happened. This just happened. Can you post this? Sending them the screeners early. So they would get the screeners and then send
Yeah.
content creator. And I said, now that is in direct violation. When you get a screener, it goes to no one. So allegedly Jen and Teresa were sending.
There's a caption at the bottom of it that says, do not distribute,
Yes.
do not send to anybody else.
I know someone who got one and then sent it to someone that was up on the cast of the show they were watching, because that person didn't get it and they got in trouble and got their access restricted. It was a content creator. This was a couple of years ago that literally sent it to a person on the show she's watching and she got in trouble for it. So that's how, for those of you that don't, that's how serious that Bravo takes this. So allegedly Teresa and Jen were sending the screeners. And when you get them early, it's a good thing, because then you can do your reviews early. Or if you're a content creator, you can get your tweets all typed up. So that way they would already start pushing the narrative before the show starts. So before you know it, because we've seen all this stuff, you're watching it with a skewed vision, instead of really watching it for yourself. So when I tell you this stuff is coming out, Aaron, it's like, and the only thing I don't get is I appreciate the content creators wanting to be honest, but we're grown here. So let's not act like somebody manipulated us. Can't nobody manipulate me into, if they could try, but I also as an adult know what I'm doing if I'm putting out a narrative against one of your cast members.
Certain
I'm
people.
not an innocent young child. So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate they want to come out. But yeah, and that's one of the reasons I think, honestly, that Jersey isn't having a reunion, because they would have to then hold Teresa, especially, I think Jen will be the scapegoat, but Teresa accountable, because this person is releasing these receipts of conversations between Teresa, her lawyer, Jim, and this content creator. I mean, she did an interview last week and already broke down a full scene that hasn't even happened yet. So
Teresa
if the
did.
scene, the content creator, because she got it from Teresa. So
Gotcha.
I honestly feel like, just like in the case of New York, when they didn't want to have to sit down and have these conversations about Ramona and race and the different things happening, so they just say no reunion, they're not going to have this reunion because they don't want to have to hold her feet to the fire. So we're just going to do it individually, allegedly. But it's so much. And I think that to me is too much. I don't mind knowing behind the scenes tea, and I'm not one that has to have a surprise ending. I don't mind a spoiler, but when it comes to this level, what do you think about that? I think that
why did the content creator expose that information?
She said because she realized that they were trying to basically really hurt the other cast members, that Teresa and Jen were actually really trying to hurt the other cast members and put out against. Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, that's weird. That's crazy. No, I'm not about to, because then at that point you're getting involved in the drama instead of being the blogger. Be the blogger. I don't want to be the story. I just want to report on the story. At this point, you want to be the story.
Aaron, that's exactly what I said. I don't even have to break it. I'm going to report on it being broken, the story being broken. But yeah, they are literally in the story. I mean, if this same cast was to come on next season, or actually even if they had a reunion, all of this would be at the reunion. It is so much. It is truly insane to me. I mean, to have a cast member buying your child a stroller.
Yeah.
And it's one thing, again, if you develop a relationship, but nothing she's showed that they developed a relationship outside of the show. It was all show based. Hey, post this at this time, post this at this time. It's crazy to me. And again, maybe her conscience got the best of her. Basically, that's what she's saying now. But I also feel like if you did it, kind of stand in it too. Like, yeah, I did it, but you're not a victim in this.
If Jen and Teresa were smart, they would have their PR people do that.
And not
that's what PR and not them. So at least if you get caught, trying to skew narratives before things actually are supposed to come out, you can say, well, that must have came from somebody from my team, but I'll have to check and see.
Like, me,
what I mean? But
with her tweets, her first season, when she was like, that was my PR person. It's like, girl.
Who said that?
Mia, her first season, she had did some tweets. I forget what the tweets were, and she was like her PR person had done it. But you're right. Why not have your PR instead of you getting your hands dirty?
You know what? I'm not too upset at the season though. I'm not. Everyone's saying that it's a disaster, and I know it's record low ratings and stuff like that. But I'm enjoying it. Of course I don't enjoy the part where the ladies have taken upon have taken upon themselves to not interact with each other, because it gives Potomac in that manner.
Yeah.
The cast has kind of really always been divided, especially when it comes to Jen, Teresa, Margaret, and Melissa. Those are the troublesome four. But I'm not upset because you have a lot of shifting dynamics. You have Jackie and Jen Fessler switching teams.
Come on.
You have Margaret spiraling. You have Melissa with really nothing going on. So that's interesting to see. You have Rachel having her breakout moment, saying that Teresa ain't never did nothing in life, which I think is BS, but okay. It was an entertaining moment for the TV show. So I feel like all of that kind of compensates for the fact that they're not talking to each other. I like the shifting dynamics. I think it's so fascinating that Jackie is now becoming friends with Teresa. I love it. I love it.
Y'all, I was telling Aaron that I watched the first episode and then like half of the second, and I was a little annoyed and a little irritated, like, and I don't know why, because I enjoyed, but it was still kind of like, and I used to be I won't even say big Teresa fan, but when Melissa and Joe first came on seasons back, I firmly saw I felt like I saw what they were trying to do. And I was like, more so, if you had to say a team, if you will, definitely Team Teresa. But then throughout the years, I was like, enough. I saw her for her works too. So neither one is better than the other, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But I was like, this season is going to be irritating. And I was telling Aaron I had to catch up for our recording. And as I was watching it, I kind of got like ooh, like it was it gave me something and I was like, oh no, I need to be, when Jersey comes out on Sunday, I need to be watching, because I'm the type that I can't hate watch anything. So if I truly am not really vibing with cast members, meaning if I don't really like what I'm seeing, it's very easy for me to disconnect and be like,
Yeah.
But when I watched it and like you said, Rachel trying to have her breakout moment, some of the stuff she was saying when she was calling her a has-been, I was like, okay, Teresa's a lot of things, a has-been, she's not. But I was catching my life when she was like, you're a bully, you stupid. Like, she wasn't scared to say what she was saying. I was and had Teresa looking stunted enough so that she got up out of there because her daughter had a volleyball game. Like,
I appreciate it.
I do. I appreciate. And you know what I did like? I've been an advocate for this for seasons. Even though, like you mentioned, how it was kind of almost Potomac where certain cast members weren't talking to each other. I'm sorry, it's not giving me a dark energy. I have always said I would rather Melissa and Teresa be on this show and their real feelings come out. I can't stand her. I'm not talking to her, because it's a real life. So them all sitting at a table, Melissa still making comments, Teresa still making comments. To me, it was very different than Potomac. I don't know. Potomac just had a certain Potomac with that Giselle and the head girl on the quad of the AKAs that I'm hazing. That's the energy I got from there. Whereas here it was just like, we hanging out. No, I don't like her. We all sitting at this table. I'm gonna say my little stuff under my breath. Melissa, Teresa, I'm gonna ignore her. Like, it gave me a different type of energy. I'm from Jersey. It gave me a different type of energy that I was like you said, this is not bad. And I'm a little bit energized.
Atlanta, going back to the division, Atlanta, Jersey, and Potomac, I feel like have all had this problem where it's a group of women who are really, to me, it seems they're really focused on icing out one person. Giselle over there in Potomac, Giselle, Robin, and all of those girls, I feel like they were really serious about icing out Candace.
Yeah.
And Wendy.
Yeah.
And it really irritates me a lot. In Atlanta, I feel like they were really concerned with trying to ice out Marlo for whatever the reason. And I feel like Kandi, the real reason why Kandi could not stand Sanya last season was because she could not, for the life of her, figure out, why is Sanya so cool with Marlo? Like, we do not like Marlo. Okay, we do not want Marlo on the show. Why are you cool with her? And then I see the same thing happening in Jersey, where Margaret is fuming at the fact that, we had this plan. None of us like Teresa. We know that this is a make or break season. Okay. We got to this season with everyone, the cast remaining the same. And that was a blessing. But we know that this season is going to be make or break. And it ain't going to be us. It's going to be Teresa, leaving. And when Jackie and Messy Fessy started being, cool with Teresa and kikiing it up with her, Margaret just could not believe that. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, y'all are totally going against the plan. I feel like those three shows, they have like these concerted efforts where they're trying to ice one particular person out. And I feel like that needs to stop. I really feel like that's got to stop. You cannot like each other, and maybe you can't stand each other, but y'all have to figure out a way to coexist in a manner to where you guys aren't doing things that are strategic to the point where you're trying to, ice people out or get people fired. I feel like it's becoming really irritating as a viewer.
Yeah. Okay. So I see what you're saying in terms of you don't mind the conflict. If you don't like them, you're not talking to them, that's cool. But to try to purposely get someone removed off the show, I can agree with that because for instance, with the Margaret and Jen Fessler of it all, I put myself in Margaret's shoes. I could understand if you were my friend and we had this conversation where this woman's husband called my child, I don't want nothing to do with her. Cool. You're telling me to my face, you don't want nothing to do with her. You know she's wrong. But now all of a sudden, where did the shift happen? Which I'm also wondering, what did we miss something for? Because it was just wild to me. Not even the switch up, but the way Jen was so, Margaret, I'm with you, I'm this, but then it was like a switch. Is it that whole fame is a hell of a drug and I really want to be a housewife and I know the way to be on this show is to be, because is it
That's part of it. That's part of it.
If you truly like something in Teresa and we're friends and you know what she tried to did what she allegedly did to my family, yeah, I'm most definitely going to have an issue with you. At the same time, if you have a genuine, for whatever reason, okay, but if I think or know that you're doing this because you want to be on this show, I now have an issue with you. But I get what you're saying as far as, but I'm not going to try to get y'all to ice her, especially the entire cat. Now, even with the Melissa and the Jackie, but the Jen Fessler, we've been friends for years. I have a problem with you. So now the audience is going to see our relationship play out on camera. But I get what you're saying about icing people out because it doesn't make it fun to watch.
I understand how Margaret can be upset that Messy Fessy and the girls are kikiing it up with Teresa. But at the same time, if you know that she's on the show, to expect someone to totally not, give another cast member the time of day is a bit unrealistic, right? It kind of defeats the purpose of her being on the show in the first place. So it's kind of like, do I just be a loyal friend, which is great for real life? Or do I play the game because I am on this TV show and try to get along and be friends with everybody?
Good point.
So it's a sticky situation for Messy Fessy. I do feel like she is a fan of Teresa, and that's why she's so giddy and excited to be her friend.
You can see it, right? It's like an excitement.
You can definitely see it. And Jackie is just so relieved and so happy to be Teresa's friend too. And it's giving they always she's a popular girl, and everybody wants to be accepted and friends with the popular girl. So
I miss the Jackie though that came in. I felt like her and Teresa could have been friends and still, and people change and people evolve. So I was getting ready to say that I missed the Jackie that came in and who didn't have a problem going back and forth with Teresa. Now, I don't like when people come in with an agenda, like I'm going to take the head girl down. And I was getting ready to say, I miss that Jackie. But again, she may be just tired of fighting. You know what? I'm tired. It hasn't gotten me anywhere. It triggered some emotions in her that a couple seasons ago when that rumor came out about Evan, it re-triggered her eating disorder. So
were the rumors true?
Now, from what I had heard,
because I think I saw a clip where Jackie went over to Teresa's house, and it was weird. It was as if she kind of alluded to it, kind of being true almost. She was so affected by it because there was some truth.
Something. Well, people were saying that if because she was basically shaking, throwing up, and crying every episode we saw her. Did you watch that season?
That was my first time. I didn't really watch when Jackie first got on, but I did. I picked Jersey back up on that season. That was 3-4 seasons ago?
Yeah. So you could see she was affected in every scene, which is interesting to me because people, Teresa included, were saying there must be some truth to it because of how it affected her, which now here we are hearing rumors about Louis and we see how it affects Teresa. So it's so easy to say it must be true. Or you wouldn't be upset. So I go back and forth. I feel like with the way it so deeply impacted her, even if that per se wasn't true, something happened somewhere inappropriate, maybe, even if it was a conversation, for it to affect her so deeply that it re-triggered her eating disorder and her crying. And I remember, didn't she say at one, and maybe I could be making this up, but I could have swore at one point Jackie said it's just easier to not be fighting.
With Tariq, yeah.
Yeah, it's just easier. So
Yeah.
but you brought up a good point. I know we want this to be real life and authentic, but we are making a show. So it is unreasonable to think that a cast member that, okay, Aaron, me and you are cool. So when we get to this place, you better not talk to so-and-so. And it's like, we are doing a show and my job is to interact. So that is a tricky
and Rachel getting triggered and upset that Messy Fessy was talking to Teresa. I'm like, girl, you just got here and you just met this lady.
And I was gonna say,
all of the I love yous, you're part of my family. I'm like, y'all just met less than 365 days ago.
Margaret handled it a little better than Rachel. I was like, did y'all get?
And the man was a drug dealer. So why are you so upset? Girl, like, what is wrong with her? Rachel is, I applaud her for, going back and forth with Teresa because she did a good job. Rachel, she's a better orator than Teresa. Teresa's a stumbler and a fumbler. And so she got Teresa on that.
Young and stupid. And she said, you're old and stupid. I said, okay,
right. Rachel is real, quick with it and, good on her feet. But she's not as accurate because the part about the, just going off on a tangent.
Yes.
The part about the what have you done? I've raised a family. What have you done? Well, she raised a family and she has 3 New York Times bestsellers and she built the platform that you are currently on. Teresa is arguably the most famous. She is the most famous person on this show.
And that we cannot take away. I said, you can say a lot, but another thing I strive to do as a person providing commentary, even if I don't vibe, I try to say vibe because to like is, we don't know these people really, but you have to be honest and fair to act as if Teresa, like you said, didn't build the platform that you're currently, the reason you're at this table, I brought the table, the chairs, and whether you like her
and flipped it over. Okay.
Put it right side back up and continued to go on. So I get what, because I was like, okay, Rachel, okay. And then when she was like the has-been, I was like, that's when also it was like, okay, her and her husband are trying to push a narrative because, people repeat things on these shows. So the audience can be like, oh, and I was like, come on, with the has-been, to say that if she was the has-been, she wouldn't be here. She wouldn't.
And your husband has been a drug dealer. Next subject.
I said, he done got these new teeth in this new body. And he like.
And he really want to be the new Joe. You saw his IMDb.
No.
He has like headshots and comp cards and like he's trying to be like an actor model. He has a whole IMDb. Like he's really, that's why I think that's why he's so vocal.
Oh.
The latter part of last season and this season, because I think he wants to be the new Joe. He sees that Melissa and Joe out the door. So he's
and him and Rachel with the small kids and coming in. Oh, and the older son. Oh,
Rachel is more vocal too, because she was kind of quiet and irrelevant last year.
And you know who I didn't see it for now, granted, past tweets. I know that we could, I just wish people would address their past tweets or whatever, but I didn't see it for the first time she came on my screen, Danielle last year, who I can't believe I'm getting ready to sit here and say this on this, but I am liking what she's like, her being a part of all this. Like when she sat at the table and said, this is blowing me. Like when she was laughing.
That was a good moment.
That was a good moment for her. And then when she was asking them, did you set me up? I was like,
not a good moment.
I
What you should have said was, I felt set up and I didn't appreciate that.
You know what? Yes. Okay.
Say how you feel definitively. Did y'all set me up? Because it's still giving weak. Like, did you? I want to believe you didn't. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to lie to my face like you've been doing. No, I feel set up and y'all are fucked up for that.
And that's the moment versus leaving way for them to come back and say X, Y, and Z. But you have your moment of power by saying, yeah, that's true. I get it. But I can't believe that I'm liking her and Rachel and seeing her trying to navigate these two groups. But you can see that there is I like seeing the shift happen. How you just said about the dynamics earlier.
I love it.
I literally got all this out of this last episode. I'm like, this is Aaron's fault because I wouldn't have even, like, I've been telling my subscribers that I'm gonna review, and they be almost like, "Are you gonna review Jersey? You said it," and I'm like, "Yeah. I'm gonna review it." But I had to for today, and now I'm blaming you. This is your fault that I feel a certain energy about
I
it.
don't think it's that bad. It ain't the best, but I don't think it's that bad. Danielle jumping shit. Everybody's jumping. Everybody's playing musical chairs and switching
Yes.
teams, and it's so fascinating.
You know what I'm ready to see? I am ready to see Melissa and Jen's friendship because I feel like from scenes that we've seen that they're going to get close. I'm ready to see that
That's going to be interesting. I want to see it.
because I think that they're a lot more alike than they think. Like I'm gonna say, they're April Aries, so am I. They're more alike than they realize. That's the to me. That's the but I am interested in seeing. I can't wait to see that. And how is Jen going to navigate that? Being good friends with
Teresa.
Like Teresa always likes to say, I don't tell you who to be friends with. Y'all all do it. I mean, come on, you all do it. You just don't do it on camera. But so it'll be very interesting. Oh, this is Aaron's fault, y'all, that I am gonna be. I'm back in, y'all. I promise I'm back.
So who do you think they're gonna bring back? Because I hear they're doing like a Atlanta style reboot.
Rachel and Danielle.
That's it?
And maybe one of Danielle's friends. I don't think
it.
I don't think they're. I mean, I truly feel like this may be a almost complete reboot. I truly feel like that, like because it would almost be tainted. I feel like if you're bringing it, your OGs now have these these accounts coming out. The Melissa's Old Nose gave some receipts to Bravo. So now it's kind of like tainted. And I think that they may try to get, without holding them accountable. Like I said, I either felt like they weren't going to hold Teresa accountable or Jen Aiden was going to be the scapegoat because there was a lot of communication with Jen Aiden. But I can see them trying to build around Rachel and Danielle. I really can.
That's interesting. I don't know what they're going to do. I have a feeling, I don't know why I feel this way, but I have a feeling Teresa's about to go.
I definitely, and I feel like it could be the nail in the coffin could be this stuff.
That stuff with the blog.
If you allow, I mean, look at with Monica. Yes, she was new, but if you allow all of this mess, that's going to open the door for so many more new housewives coming in, where social media and the audience is now a part of the show. And it was never supposed to be like that.
Right.
What do you think about, I have a contrary. I think when it comes to Dolores, I'm a contrarian because I've never really seen it for her. I like looking at her. That's it.
Gorgeous.
That's it. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I hate when they call her Black Dolores because she ain't voting for nobody's Black Lives Matter, nothing. But
she never looked black to me, but okay.
Me neither. Thank you.
I don't understand.
I don't get black from her.
She's beautiful. She's tan, but I don't get. She looks like a white woman.
I don't get anything black. So when they say Black Dolores, it's like, no, she does not look like. Come on, Rachel Dolezal looked more like she could pass than Dolores to me. I'm just saying, at the time, when she had the braids and things. But what do you think about Dolores? Because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like this is her storyline. Just like you knew when you were dating Dr. David that he wasn't wanting anything serious. You get to come on the show and say, I'm okay with him working all the time. But you still managed to make it your storyline. So you had something to talk about, even though I truly believe you were okay with it. Now you're with Paulie. I truly believe you knew the situation with Paulie and you're okay with the situation with Paulie, but it's giving you something to talk about. I truly believe it. And I'm so tired of her being Teresa's translator and acting as if somebody should be afraid of Teresa. There is something about Dolores. Mind you, I met her at BravoCon. Very nice. Took a picture. She pretty, all of that. There's something about her that just turns me off.
You didn't like the part where she told Rachel she's going to be coming for you, sleep with one eye open. You ain't like that part?
I did, because I guess that's when I wanted a little Atlanta to come out. Like, and what? You know,
I think she did say that. She was like, ooh, or something.
it was a different type of energy than
Mm-hmm.
now, or Erica Jane or what.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what she's trying. You know what really did it for me with Dolores last season when they were talking about Bill Aiden and the cheating. And Jackie was getting on Bill, but was like for him to go put his thing and somebody else. And the way Dolores ran that back to Jen Aiden as if Jackie was talking about her, because I felt like she saw them kind of forming something that turned me off from her and was like, she's just like the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't
that's,
even remember that.
yeah, she ran it back totally wrong. And so then Jen came at Jackie, and Jackie was like, no, I had your back. So what do you think about Dolores?
Didn't Dolores and Jen have a falling out too, like last year?
Yes, yes.
What was that over?
Wasn't it when they all were at Dolores's townhouse and Jen was kind of like crying, and they were like, stop crying, like stop crying, you need to toughen up and like get over it. And Jen was like, I kind of need you to be like here for me. And Dolores
Right.
really wasn't trying to hear that.
Okay.
And then Jackie and Dolores almost like going back and forth. And what Jackie was like, I'm not afraid of you. And all this, Dolores was a correction officer, Frank talking about she bit off a girl's fingernails. I don't see none of that. So I don't care. I don't want to hear any of that. But that could just be feelings.
I have no thoughts on Dolores. She plays Switzerland. She's dating Irish. She's from the Jersey Shore. I think she's pretty. I don't know. I have no thoughts. She's not, to me, a factor on the show.
Okay.
Really.
And it's funny because with all that said, how I feel about Dolores, I'm still not advocating for her to lose her job. You know how some people, I don't like this person. I'm not advocating for her to lose her job. But like you said, it's just like she irritates me. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about, I know earlier you said Melissa this season, you was like, it's interesting to see Melissa not doing anything. So how do you feel about Melissa this season?
Melissa, I don't really feel anything from Melissa. Honestly, I don't. I feel like Margaret is more prominent than Melissa this season. I don't feel anything. She's pretty. She's sending her kids off to college, and she no longer has Teresa to, ride on those coattails. I don't feel anything.
Okay. What about, you said Margaret basically has more going on. What did you think about the scene with Margaret and Melissa and Jen, and Margaret saying that she felt like Jan, her ex, who is deceased, RIP, and how he basically kind of helped her marriage to Joe?
If I was her husband, I don't know if I would like those things. And I understand like you had a certain connection to this man. But I don't know. I would be offended if I was her husband. I would be, first off, I feel like she's the sort of person, I think she's the head in that relationship. So you already have that dynamic. And then your ex-husband dies, the father of your, I'm assuming all of her children.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
He passes away, rest in peace. And now it's like, oh, well, he helped my marriage. And because he was such a good father and this, that, and the third, like it really helped me and Joe connect. And if I was her husband, I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that at all. I feel like you need to keep that to yourself.
Yeah. The only way I could see is if she had introduced Joe was good friends with him too. So Joe leaned on him too. You know what I mean? If
Okay.
it was like
Yeah, that would be better.
a couple. But I was kind of like, even if I got where she was coming from a little bit, it was still like, because you notice Jen said, so what are you thinking about leaving him? And she's like, no, it's not like that. But that is how it kind of came across at first. So, and it's just interesting.
Why are you even bringing up your husband when it comes to you grieving this man? Like, there was no need to bring that up. Your marriage is probably affected. Maybe she has a skewed sense of reality. Your marriage in the present moment is probably affected because you are grieving right now. But to make this overarching, I guess, idea that he helped it and now your marriage might be fractured because he's gone, I just feel like it was just a bit oversharing. I think she overshared. And I also thought it was ridiculous how when they were at the baseball game for the 20th time. One thing about Jersey, they do the same things that's one thing I never understood. We do the baseball game every year and we do the Jersey Shore. It's
Every
weird.
year.
But when they were at the Jersey Shore, or I mean the baseball game, and she told Jackie, "Did you call me when Jan died? Did you or on his anniversary?" Matter of fact, he didn't just die. It's the anniversary. I'm assuming it's the 1 year. And did
Yes.
you call me on his anniversary? I'm like, how am I supposed to remember when your ex-husband? Okay, the Twitter people say you cheated on him because I didn't watch Jersey back when she first came on, so I don't know all her backstory.
She
But
cheated on him
apparently,
with Joe and married Joe.
oh wow,
Yeah. Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So she had Joe was the contractor for their home. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Uh-huh. So she's been
Wow.
with Joe for the 20 years. Great. I get it. Mistakes happen. But that's also like, y'all must have had a lot of therapy, a lot of group work, because for Jan to play such an integral part in your marriage to the person that you cheated on him with.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I
That's
said I
so
would have liked
odd.
for her to say, well, Joe leaned on him too. Him and Joe became good friends because, yeah.
And how was he able to do that? Because what? Was he a cheater too? Like, was he just an
Yes, he was
innocent? He was
married.
in it.
He was married to someone else. Margaret was married to Jan, and they cheated together and got married.
No, I'm talking about Mark Jan.
Oh, you
Did
know
Jan
what?
ever
I think
cheat?
she never said if Jan cheated or not. She never said. Not that I remember from her being on the show. I don't remember.
So this completely
I want to say
innocent
no.
man has to watch you be with the person that you cheated on him with.
Mhm.
Wow. And then he was somewhat kind of cool with Joe too.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
That's so. You talk about, like I said, you must have definitely had some good family, which it makes clear why she's talking to her children now, thank goodness, but there were some issues for a while because her children were upset with her because,
Because of that situation.
yeah. Hmm.
So did Joe know that she was married when they were having an affair?
Yeah, he was working on their house.
So now I don't really feel that bad for him now.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I don't know why she expected Jackie or yeah, Jackie to remember the anniversary of your ex-husband that you cheated on, that who's passed. Like that was weird. Margaret is weird to me. She has this unrealistic expectation of these friendships and she wants blind loyalty. She really does want blind loyalty and she's fuming, and that along with the grief, she's spiraling out of
Yeah.
control.
And so here's not interesting, but where you have to be honest with, I really liked Margaret. I do see when she airs, when it's like, come on, Margaret, whatever, I'm not blind.
What did you like about her?
I felt like she brought a different energy when she came in, meaning like when she first came, she was funny, she was witty, she was light, she was sarcastic. I felt like she connected with all the girls on a different level. It's different now because I feel like the show has now become her job and we're seeing it be her job. Like we see her clocking in a different way. I would always say I could see Giselle clocking in and clocking out, but just like I'm coming to work, I'm gonna start mess, I'm gonna do these things. It's different with Margaret. Like the plan, I do believe in the planning and the plotting. I don't like that. And that's disappointing to me because I felt like Margaret was really smart. And I liked hearing her backstory with her business, how she lost everything and she had to build everything up again. I even like the fact that she came on being honest, like, yes, I had this affair. Yes, this is what I'm not trying to hide it. But somewhere along the way, this became a job that she really wants to hold on to. So now I'm going to plot, I'm going to plan. And that, even with still, I can say this, still having an affinity for her, I don't like that part of it. I really
I,
don't.
I think she takes the show way too seriously.
And that's what it is. And so
Yeah.
when she said that to Jackie, I was like, okay, now wait a minute. I have to be very honest. I've lived long enough to have lost people and have friends who've lost people and parents and siblings. And off the top of my head, I don't remember the anniversaries of those things. And as a matter of fact, one of my closest friends she is like my sister because I don't have sisters lost her baby sister last year. And I remember I was driving just a couple weeks ago, like, wait, is it this? It just happened to pop into my head, but was it top of mind? No. And I wouldn't have remembered to reach out. So when she said that, I was like, that's unfair to put that on her. And would you have forgiven it if she wasn't trying to form a relationship with Teresa? Or all these little things, just like she did this, she did that, and now she's forming a relationship with Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really upset that I'm going back to blaming you, that I have a little reinvigoration for Jersey, because like you, I don't think that it's that bad, knowing that we ain't gonna see this. I truly believe we're not gonna see this cast next season, not in its current iteration.
I'm not that invested. I like the show. I'm not that invested, so I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm excited to see what happens too. Let me ask you this last thing about Jersey because I don't want to keep you all night. I know you have things to do. You are a busy man. You need to get out content for us that watch your channel. Would you be okay with Jersey? Because, Jersey is known for its family stuff. Would you be okay with moving away from the family stuff?
That originally, I love that about Jersey. I liked how Melissa, even though I know Teresa hated it, I love that Melissa and Joe were on. I love the fact that you had Kathy and the gay cousin, or, whatever her name was, Rosie. Yeah, all of those people. It made Jersey so much more different than the other parts of the franchise. But I'll be okay. Yeah, why not?
I feel the same way.
Not? And after a while, it got so jaded. It was Melissa versus Teresa. One thing that Jersey, I think they killed it because it just was the same thing every year. And I didn't understand how the ratings are just now plummeting. Really. Yeah. I did not get it at all.
Which is why when this season was coming up, I was so okay with seeing Melissa and Teresa not talk. Let it be real life. And if they get into it, they get into it, but let it be real life. All right, moving on really quickly. I want to jump over to Dubai because before we started recording, Aaron told me that Jersey is giving him more than Dubai. So I know it's the first episode, but oh my gosh, I found fun in Dubai. I found a different energy in this Jersey episode, but I found fun in Dubai, and I found myself laughing, which with ROP going off. Oh my God. Wait, hold on. I like the conversation at the end of the episode with Lisa and Caroline. I thought it was funny when Lisa was like, I may have misjudged you. Time will tell. And Caroline was like, well, now wait a minute. See, that's where we go left. You say something. I thought that was fun, like a funny interaction. I thought Chanel or Ion, whatever, and Caroline were funny at their lunch. I will say this, though. I do feel like Chanel is putting on, and if she's naturally funny and witty, just let that come through. I do feel like it's a lot of put on with her. I feel like there are moments when she's actually being witty and funny, and like when she was with Caroline, and I enjoyed that. But I feel like the coming with the gloves, like, is all of that real? She makes me question sometimes. Is it? I'm a housewife now, and I don't know if that's because of sometimes she does a little bit of online shenanigans, and I'm like, oh, she wants to be a housewife, so she'll get into the things online, and now I feel like that's what's happening on the show. I do feel like she's going to end up befriending Caroline on the show because she feels like Caroline is the head HBIC in charge. And I'm prejudging this, y'all. I have not seen the season, so we can come back to this when the season is over. But I do feel like she may leave Lisa in the dust a little bit in favor of Caroline, because I feel like Lisa is very much her friend. But Ayan wants to climb that housewife hierarchy. I really believe that. But in saying all that, I still found it funny. Like I said, I found those scenes funny. I guess, her scenes with Lisa, they were funny and they were cute. I found it light. There was just something about it that I found light. Except for Brooks. Brooks, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to take it back. On The Lion King, who was Scar's family? What were they called? The people in
The
no,
hyenas.
not the Lion King. Ariel.
Rock.
No, what's the Ariel? What's the
King
Little Mermaid?
Titus.
Yes. What were the things that worked for the person that took Ariel's voice?
Ursula.
Yeah, she scares me like them eels. There's something about her that's slippery, that's snake-like, and I don't like it.
Caroline Brooks.
Yes. Okay, I just needed to say that.
Lisa Disingenuous.
Oh,
Gorgeous,
okay.
gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. One of the most beautiful housewives. Can dress her ass off. Disingenuous. You can tell that she is so nervous to lose her friend. It's a lot of foreshadowing, which is great storytelling. But just in the things that she says, like, oh, if Chanel says, me and Caroline had a brunch or a lunch.
Okay.
Well, keep your enemies close, or what she say, keep your, whatever the saying is, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. You really, AKA, I don't want you being friends with that lady.
So that's when okay. So you think her
Then
support
as
of
soon,
Chanel.
soon as Caroline, well, maybe I misjudged you, but it's like, girl, you still cannot stand this lady, but okay, you're getting along for the scene, cool. Chanel Lyon, I do feel like she puts on a lot. But I think I'm used to it at this point. Caroline, she doesn't give me enough of anything, really.
You're talking about Stanberry,
Caroline
right?
Stanberry,
Yeah.
she doesn't really give me much of anything. Caroline Brooks is so affected by the TV camera. She does things for
Come on.
TV. I'm trying not to say any personal attacks. I want to use the word fake.
Yeah.
But she, like, the fact that you would sit up there on the phone and kiki with Caroline.
Come on, then
go to Talene talking about, well, she was talking about how you were doing too much and you had your legs open and you were falling over. First off, whatever Caroline Stanberry said was not that bad. Okay, you are being pushed by the devil on the shoulder or one of these producers to create a moment and to make that something into something. Because the fact that Talene would even sit up there and be like, are we good to Caroline Stanberry? I'm like, girl, nothing really happened.
I don't even know
Caroline, I don't even know you. It's your girl Caroline Brooks who is trying to perpetuate some negativity in order to have a storyline. So I'm like, the fact that Brooks did that, it's just kind of like, okay, weird. And then Sarah and Chanel, that situation, now that is a real storyline.
Yes. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care for Sarah last season. I didn't like some of her ways. I felt like she could be a bit disingenuous. So I didn't really care for her. But I'm gonna say this. When her and Ion went and sat down by the pool, I understand why you're upset, Ion. You did open up to her. However, what you can't do, if I was Sarah, is sit in my face and tweet at me and tweet things about me. And then my interview comes out. And now we're not going to talk about the Twitter. I thought I was being funny. We're going to talk about this interview. No, we're going to address it all.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I was like, come on. Like, if you're...
I saw both sides. I felt like Chanel had a reason to be upset. The victim thing, don't, say that I'm being a victim. I'm using my story to be she is a victim. Really, that's just the honest truth.
Yes.
But, after you talk shit about me on Twitter, it's like, okay, fuck you. Right. So I get both sides. I do. Yeah.
With Brooks, what struck me as, yes, we're creating a TV show, but like you said, she's so aware of the cameras. You bring Talene on. Talene is saying, you're her first friend here. Y'all are so close. You're that willing to throw her to the wolves. And what really got me, though, it's one thing for her to repeat what Caroline said. Like, yeah, we be talking every morning. That's my girl. And I repeated it. For her to say, can we all agree that the 7 a.m. calls from Caroline should stop? In that moment, I kind of felt for Caroline a little bit too. Like, girl, we talk every morning. And now all of a sudden...
For TV, you're doing it and it's so obvious. If you're going to do something for TV, disguise it as if it's for life. And you're not doing that. Caroline Brooks, she's appearing onto the TV screen, one, as a drunk, and two, as someone who's less than smart. She's got to be smarter. When she takes a beat from her producer, she has to be smarter. That phone conversation between you and Caroline Stanbury was not enough for you to piggyback it all the way to Talene and for Talene to be asking Caroline Stanbury, are we good? It just wasn't enough. It gave, we so desperately need something to talk about.
Because then we see that it's going to carry into other episodes when she says to Talene, make sure your vagina is waxed or something. It's like, so we're still talking about this. Then, and I believe Caroline when because Caroline has a very British sense of humor. So I believe she probably made a reference to it and was funny and moved on from it. It wasn't a big deal. But now we see that it's going to carry on later into the season. That I'm not, while I'm looking forward to Dubai, I really hope that they squash it next episode and we're done and we move on to other things.
Stupid. Yeah, that whole thing is stupid.
Yeah.
Dubai, they have a long way to go. I'm not impressed. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not impressed. Like not one bit. I think they look beautiful.
Yes.
I do like the fashion, so that's one element. I do like the scenery and the fashions, but as far as the stories, is they
Other
press
than
pause on Martha's Vineyard. This is gonna be another black show because I consider Miami and Dubai to be semi-black shows. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So listen, this might be another one that bites the dust. I'm scared.
Yeah. Or at least end up on Peacock. But I think they would just pull the plug before.
Like it's cute, but I don't know. We need to lean into the comedy or a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what they need. I don't know.
What did you think about the first season?
First season, the same thing. Fashions were cute. You know, they all are beautiful. It just didn't give me story-wise. It did not give me what I was looking for.
Okay.
Like, I don't really individually, I don't find any of the ladies to be really all that exciting.
Gotcha.
Chanel, of course, has a star-like personality. Lisa is, nice to look at. Other than that, I don't get anything else from this show. I really don't.
Mm.
I wanna like it really, really, really bad. It's just not there for me.
No,
Right now.
That's how I felt about, even though this has nothing to do with Housewives, Traitors. I tried to get into it last season.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna try it again. I couldn't. I watched 3 episodes. I was like, I don't know what I'm watching. So I'm going to try it this season.
That was must-see TV.
I kept hearing, and Aaron, there was just something about it that I couldn't get into. So I'm gonna go in fresh, watching the first episode this season.
What about it couldn't you get into? Like, what don't you like? Are you a competition girly?
No.
Maybe that's what it is.
I would like them doing them being in the house and doing things I could have got with, but then when they were outside. And in real life, I'm into that. Like in real life, I would do something, but like watching it on my TV, like I'm not a Survivor challenge.
I get you.
Type.
I get you. I love a Big Brother. I love Traitors now because of last season, but I'm a huge fan of Big Brother. And whenever they do challenges, I tune out. I get on my phone.
Yes.
Then when they get back into the house and start talking gameplay and start backstabbing, that's when I get, tune. And so I get you on that part. But the gameplay aspect of it is so cool. And it had me on the edge of my seat like every episode. I really did enjoy Traitors. And, I'm not a Robin Dixon fan, but I root for everybody black and I root for everybody that I know against people, all these white people I don't know. So listen, I never rooted for Robin Dixon a day in my life, but I'm going to root for Robin Dixon on Traitors.
I was just getting ready to ask you, how do you feel about the upcoming season? Because when I looked at the cast, I was like, now this is the season I said I'm gonna watch, and now this is who, like,
I don't think it looks that, like, who's on it?
So many Survivor people. Let me see. I had it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I know Tom Sandoval.
Yes.
You watch VPR?
Oh, yes, I do. And The Valley.
Okay, how is The Valley? I do not watch Vanderpump Rules. I haven't seen The Valley.
Okay. I thought when they announced it, like, oh God, this is going to be a show that if nothing else is on, if I'm home, I may put it on in the background. I found myself wanting to watch it live every single week. The Valley. When I tell you these folks, it may seem like, oh, they're trying to be Vanderpump Rules, but with children, baby, I'm tuned in. When we get off of here, I missed the episode Tuesday, and because I was busy the last 2 days. I will be watching it. And I've been listening to recaps of The Valley and haven't even watched it yet. If you get a chance, it's what, like 6 or 7 episodes. I'm telling you, The
I
Valley,
hear they're doing really good
you
in
don't
the
even
ratings.
have to know the VPR character. Well, you know the characters, I'm sure, but you don't even have to have watched that to see this.
To get into this.
Yes, they didn't shot it 2 separations already. I said, now wait a minute. The show,
On the show or in real life?
the last episode in real life, like the folks is separated.
Wow.
And they're coming back next season.
Didn't they have a racist girl on there from VPR?
Let me go ahead.
And ain't they thinking about bringing on Stassi, who's like a racist lady or
Let
something?
me go ahead and look up
I don't know the
Traitors.
backstory, child, but listen, they need to just go ahead and here's what I think they should do. Move all the VPR girls to the Valley. Because ain't none of y'all work in that lady restaurant no more. Vanderpump don't know nothing.
Not a one. I would rather them do a new VPR, the new class. Who's working in there now?
Thank you. Thank you. And let the girls, the Valley really should have been Lala and them over there and mix, their cast up or whatever.
Yeah,
but VPR needs to be, we need to get back into the girls who are in the restaurant. I like the fact that I like the transition between everybody now being restaurateurs themselves. I think that's really dope.
yes, yes.
But, move on to the Valley and let's get some new girls in there.
Although I think if you watch the Valley now, you won't want the VPR girls there. You're just gonna want to see who's. I'm telling you, I have to give them credit. They carried themselves. I was like, okay, they made a liar out of me because I was ready to laugh at the show. Like, I don't know if I want to see. It's good.
That I heard a lot when they announced it. A lot of people were dragging it. We don't want to see this, and I hear that it's doing really well. So I'm gonna check it out.
Good. Okay, I got it.
Okay,
it is. Who are these people? Okay. Boston Rob Mariano. Isn't he from? What's he from? He's from something. Robin Dixon. Wells Adams, who's from The Bachelor. I think he was with Sarah Hyland from Modern Family.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Wells Adams, The Bachelor. Sam Asghari, who was married to Britney Spears.
Wait, what's his name?
Sam Asghari, Asghari.
Oh, that's the one that just got divorced.
Yes.
Oh, that's T.
Yes. Chanel Ayan.
Okay.
Bob the Drag Queen. Dolores Catania. Jeremy Collins, Survivor. Robin Dixon. Dylan Efron. Zac Efron's brother.
Okay.
Nikki Garcia, Total Divas, Dancing with the Stars. Bob Harper, The Biggest Loser. Brittany Haynes, Big Brother. Boston Rob Mariano, Survivor. Amazing Race, Deal or No Deal. Dorinda Medley. Sierra Miller, Summer House. Lord Ivor Mountbatten, he's a British royal. Danielle Reyes, Big Brother. Tom Sandoval. Chrishell, Selling Sunset. Tony Vlachos, Survivor. Carol Wigger, Survivor. Gabby Windley, The Bachelorette.
Taria, that doesn't sound bad to me. I like it.
Right,
there's a lot of names I don't know because I'm not a Survivor girl. I'm not a Bachelor person or anything like that. But the Nikki from Total Bellas, Dorinda, Chrishell, Robin, Bob the Drag Queen, Chanel. It's a lot of I'm feeling it.
I'm going to watch, and then I'm going to make you come on mid-season, and we are discussing this.
Dolores, Black Dolores. No.
Yeah, right. Well, and people are saying Tom Sandoval is going to be a traitor. I think that would be obvious. I mean, if they were to make him one, wouldn't you think
was Phaedra an obvious traitor since she was, she was kind of a villain when she left Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. No? True.
And they did have Dan from Big Brother, who he was known to be very strategic and like a low-key villain. So I don't know if that's their shtick. I only saw last season. I don't know if that's what they usually do is make obvious villains traitors. I'm not sure. I
want to know, last thing before you, what was with all of a couple of weeks ago? We thought it was going to be Kenya Moore, her showing the traitor. Did they use that as a deflection? Remember, they had this Jax Taylor, Kenya Moore. It was I
didn't see that.
Yeah,
I saw Monique Samuels, who did not. So my whole thing is, I know them girls at VPR. You probably already know what I'm gonna say. I know them girls on VPR making a check, honey, They're probably some of the most paid people over there at the Bravo at NBC Universal, and I know they negotiated the hell out of them contracts after Scandival. Um, how is Peacock able to afford Tom Sandoval but not Monique Samuels, who's collecting a check from that radio station out there where you stay? Out there in the DMV, Baltimore, out there in that area, Maryland. Collecting a check up there in Maryland at the local radio station.
Oh
How
my
are
God.
they able to afford Monique Samuels and yet Carlos King on Oprah Winfrey, Discovery, Warner
Good
Discovery,
night.
HBO, Peacock, NBCU, Bravo, and Andy Cohen and everybody else in between? How don't these people have enough money to satisfy Monique Samuels? What is going on with that? I love Monique, but I don't get it.
I, I will say this. It gave very much deceptive tease to me, just like when she was divorcing Chris, but then she came on, the rumors were out. Somebody had to give it to people. Hello. Then you came out like everybody was lying on y'all. There was no divorce show in the ring. Then all of a sudden you're divorced. Now here we are, you coming to the stage, if you will, the social media stage, saying, wow, these rumors are wild, WTF, as if you didn't know where you being on Traitors came from, only for a rumor that, oh, since Candace is not doing it, your offer was rescinded. Now it's forcing you to basically tell on yourself because now you want to make sure people aren't linking your popularity or your relevance to Candace. So now it forces you to come out and show the email from your lawyer and with NBC Universal saying, hey, we can't meet your number. That's the thing that annoys me about her. It's like you didn't have to come out as if these rumors weren't real and WTF and all this.
That was so weird.
That
I
was
thought that was the oddest thing.
yeah,
She
and that's
was
what
acting like it was like that could have never been. Who would have got the idea that I was going to be on Traders?
right.
Why was she acting like that?
And that's what it is with Monique. So again, it took me back to her divorce. You told Ashley said at that BravoCon you were separated. Then you get on People Magazine runs the story. Then you get online
Totally
like
false. It's
yeah,
totally false. And then turns to find out you are separated and you got to, I don't know if they're divorced,
yeah,
but
they are.
you
Next thing
vowed.
you know, they said
Okay.
they weren't. They showed the ring, and then months later, we find out they're divorced, which means it had to have been going on.
Yeah, there's a pattern. There's a
And
pattern there.
that's the thing. So it's like, come on, Monique. Like, but to your point, y'all paying Tom Sandoval. Y'all paying all these people. Now, I will say, I would have liked to see how it played out with Robin and Monique being
I
in
would have
this.
loved that. I would have loved that. That's why I'm like, girl, I bring that up not to really shade her. I am being shady, but I'm bringing it up because I'm actually am disappointed. The only thing that got me to watch Love and Marriage DC was Monique Samuels. I would have loved to have seen her on the Traders. I never thought that she would be on there. I didn't think that she was going to be on Peacock's radar like that. Given that she hasn't really been on TV or really in the spotlight like that in a second. But I would have loved that. So it kind of just irritates me that she keeps coming out with this excuse. Well, they don't have enough money. They don't have enough money. Girl, your fans want, I'm a fan. I want to see you on the show.
And knock, knock, who's there? Monique saying she would never do reality TV again. But here we are finding out you're in negotiations. And I saw somebody say, well, she meant that kind of reality TV. That's not what she said. She said she was never going to do reality TV again.
Clock it.
Hence
Clock
my
it.
issue with her, the pattern.
Clock
Aaron,
it. Wait, before we get off,
I'm good. Okay, no, I'm here.
did you clock the tea? Candace went on to Twitter and said, I'm gonna talk about this today. She said, oh, she was like, y'all keep asking me how I feel about the cast of Traders. I don't really feel that much, but it's interesting to see my sloppy seconds on there. Did you see that?
Let me go to X.
I'm like, Candace, you still, even you and Robin off the show,
They still,
you still got heavy feelings toward Robin like that?
like to say that, like, okay, wait.
I'm like, that was harsh, sis. You supposed to be in your soft girl pregnant era. What's going on? I was like, damn, Candace, that was kind of, that was tough. That was nasty work, as the kids say.
Yes. Wait a minute. I'm okay.
You might have to go to her replies. I think she was
Okay.
replying.
Oh my, for her to say sloppy seconds, yeah, like you said, she got some real feelings.
Wait, I think, did I screenshot it? I had
Didn't
this.
she? Because what was she talking about, Monique, when the conversation was around Traitors? She posted something about how somebody said, how do you say sorry to everybody but not the person? And she reposted it and was like, yeah, the announcement, this is triggering or something. And I was like, wait, was she talking about Monique possibly being on Traitors?
I didn't see that.
Okay, this was like right. It was like the day before they announced that Monique wasn't going to be on Traitors. And I was like, wait, what am I
Mm.
missing? What is going on?
Mm.
But like you said, she's got to have some heavy feelings. I was
Mm.
trying to see now if she said um something else like
Most of the cast, this was yesterday, 2:43 p.m. Most of the cast is cute, but if I wanted to watch my sloppy seconds on TV, I could just paint the walls of my nursery and watch them dry. It's
shut
basically the same thing, but y'all should watch and let me know how it is.
huh? She said paint the
Wow.
walls on her nursery and watch them dry.
She's not letting up on Robin. It's still beef, I guess.
It must be. I thought, okay, maybe if she had when she has the baby, if there was a friendship, maybe Robin will reach out, say congratulations, and maybe behind the scenes, off camera, there would be some sort of makeup. But yeah, no, I think it's up forever.
And how would it have been with Candace and Monique on the show? That would have been crazy.
That is especially with her being pregnant, would that have brought them closer?
Together?
Yeah,
That would have been a moment.
that would have definitely been a moment because I don't understand how what the carrying ons that they did, like the challenges. How were you going to do that pregnant? Like
Yeah, very true.
happily pregnant. So
Right.
was that even real? Because she didn't come out and debunk or
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I
It seems like it seems that she was in talks. I don't know what her plan was. Maybe they were going to somehow fix it for her. Like,
oh
how can I
okay.
say, like, I don't know how they were going to do that.
I know
It
what you
seems
mean.
to me that they were going to maybe make exceptions. I don't know how they were going to have that play out. I'm not sure.
And or it almost feels like bring her in with Monique to get viewers to get it started, and then maybe she would go home. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
because I could see that happening.
Because
But
it seems like they were, in negotiations up until recently. Um, so I'm not sure.
there's always next seating. She can carry, like she told Ashley, you and your breast milk. She can carry that on over to Scotland and be pumping. Did you
Mhm.
see Ashley's video singing?
Why is she on the show?
Coffee and
Now,
love.
I usually I don't like black women losing their jobs, but
That,
I am an advocate. I'm an advocate for the show first. I want the show to succeed, and if that means she got to lose her job, why is she on there? And why do they boost her head up and act like she can sing? That was one of the great reasons why Candace was onto the show to kind of set Ashley back into reality.
she's the
You
only one.
sound a mess.
I felt like Candace was the only one. Because remember, Ashley was so wild. There was a time when Karen told her to have a baby and settle down.
Mm.
That's how off the chain she was. Candace was the only one that could snatch her right on
Snatcher.
back to
And
reality.
she was harsh and was body shaming a lot of the times,
Mhm.
but it did hunt. Like, why do you think you could? I guess if that's your thing, and then the GNA thing kind of pisses me off.
It makes me
Personally,
mad for no reasonable reason. Like,
the fact that y'all and I'm finna go up for Kenya, which she has an event today I was supposed to go to, but
oh,
yeah, she has the what is it?
Salon.
The salon, the grand opening.
Oh,
But what was I gonna say? How Kenya was like complaining, that they didn't show my salon and they didn't show me
yes.
building it up and da, 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 da. Okay, well, how the producers ignored Kenya's salon, Potomac producers, which I thought was the same producers, need to ignore GNA and the bullshit that they got going on. The fact that they even put a spotlight on that dumbass fashion line. And I do not like to tear the girls' businesses down. But the only reason why I feel comfortable in saying what I'm saying is because it's a complete joke and it's completely not serious at all. Shout out to Giselle for pivoting and trying to partner up with these organizations for like tumor and cancer research and stuff like that in memory of her father. I think that's sweet. But
Mhm.
GNA is the complete shit show, and it's literally a business for the cameras, and I just don't respect it.
Because, like you said, it's a business for the cameras. And Giselle had so much to say about Karen's perfume line, her wig line, every who, we don't know what that's been done. Like, and now you
Defunct.
are partnering. I could see if Ashley did it by herself and did a line of yoga wear, that would make sense to me because she would used to do yoga pop-ups and she could have her apparel, sell something. That would make sense to me. Just Giselle and Ashley thing, like you said, and I think that's why it's so angering. Girl, this is not real. So you expect us to get invested in this, and this is not even real
At all. At all. At all.
Oh my gosh. Is there something else I was going to ask you randomly? No, I
Can
think that's it.
Atlanta. Okay.
Atlanta. Oh, how come you're not going to Kenya's thing?
You know what? I didn't even make it a priority, and I don't even know what time it's supposed to start. So, I was supposed to be going with my friend. He got, let's see. Oh, it started at 4. So yeah, no,
So you're
no,
not.
no.
I will say there's something about Atlanta that I love, and my daughter went to college, Georgia State, her first year. She's now since transferred to Syracuse for her second year. But I used to go to Atlanta all the time anyway, and her being there was like an hour and some change flight from Baltimore. There's something in Atlanta that I love going, visiting, just being there, and yeah. How
Atlanta
long
is
have
amazing.
have you were you born
Born,
and raised?
raised, and live.
Really?
And
Okay.
I love it. Most people who have lived here for a prolonged period of time or were born and raised here, they hate it. They're like, it's boring, it's this, we're full, it's traffic, there's nothing to do. People drag and rag on Atlanta. I love it. I love it, especially for what I do as a job. It's perfect. It's
Okay.
perfect. It's like the Black Hollywood. And so, you know, I'm trying to get in more into in-person interviews and stuff like that, going to events, and this is the perfect place to really mix and mingle. So I love it. And there's a huge gay black scene, of course, as everybody knows. Perfect for me. Um,
Are you dating?
am I dating currently? No,
Okay.
I'm not dating currently. I'm on a journey of decentering men,
Okay. Okay.
which basically means that I am not doing, saying, or really acting in a manner that would garner me male attention on purpose.
But if it happens
But
organically,
if it happens, it happens. I can receive the love and attention. I can't actively seek it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I was in my community. I had did a video yesterday or 2 days ago, and I don't know why. Sometimes you're talking and something just feels on your heart. So I talked about what my word for the month of June was. Some people have a word for the year, but even though June just started, heavy on my heart was consistency in
Mm,
my exercise and in my content creation. A lot of times I prioritize the sure money over money that could be if I put more work. So it's like if I
yeah.
have to take away time from the sure money to do this, that's when it's like, am I really walking in faith or and all of that stuff. And there was I had a conversation with someone and I appreciated her vulnerability. And she was kind of saying the same thing. Like basically she's centering herself in this season. Like she has to decenter. So I like that you do that. I think so often society has taught us to center other people. And it's like, I
Yes.
need to take a minute, even when you're a wife and a mom and me. Even, my daughter told me today, Mom, you need to take a day off because people who work take days off. But for me,
Yes.
even though my husband works and really takes care of the house and my thing is cool that I can do gig work and still do this. But in my mind, it's like, if I'm not out there, I'm not making money. So I have to
Mhm.
learn to prioritize me and my health and all of that stuff.
We center people even when we know it's at the detriment of ourselves.
Oh, you better say
Um,
that.
and you as a parent, I feel like parents need to take a lot of time for themselves. Y'all make the world go round, and if you're not a happy parent, you don't have happy kids. When a child can look up to a happy parent, a parent that, uh, focuses on themselves and focuses on their happiness and make sure that they're make sure that they're okay. You know, it'll have a domino effect. Everyone around them will be happy. So I feel like it's super important. I can't speak. Important for parents to center themselves and make sure that they put their happiness first.
I can agree to that because I will say, looking at my kids now, the fact that they're all adults and still want to hang out with us, still want to go places with us, still want to, what are we doing? Let's hang out. Oh, still want to go when they come home from school. Oh, there's a family function. And I'm like, y'all don't have to go. Oh, no, we're going to go with y'all. Like today, my godson graduated from 5th grade, and my two that were home for the summer could have slept in, but they were like, nope, we're getting up. So they drove their car and they met me there. So it's nice to see that. I'll say this as parents too. I got some of the best advice from a friend of mine that I ever got because I was stressing like my child needs to grow up to do this, do that. They were in the entertainment world for a very long time. Like we moved from Jersey to Maryland, and then they got signed by a manager, a very prominent manager in New York. So we were back and forth.
Uh-oh.
They were auditioning. They were doing all of that stuff, right?
Was it modeling, acting?
All of it, modeling,
Okay.
acting, singing. So when I saw Little Northwest, just side note, I
Oh
know
no.
what it's like when my daughter was down to the top 5 twice to be young Nala for real and had to go through the auditioning and all that. And then to see it's like, it's one thing if the package was there. Because I was always very honest with my kids, but they did some amazing projects, some amazing things. But I was like, well, okay, I can't. My husband and I bought a house 2.5 years ago. Before that, I was like, I can't buy a house because we don't know where the kids are going to end up with their career. Everything was always about them, and they got to be this, they got to be that. Their grades still got to be good. And my friend told me one day, girl, at base level, don't raise, and I don't normally curse, but I'm saying, don't raise assholes, because when you raise an asshole, now the world has to deal with your asshole. Concentrate on just raising kind children. The rest will fall into place. You can't control what they do. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I need to focus on making sure that they're kind, that they take care of themselves, but they consider other people as well. And that when she told me that, it's just so much stress, just like, because college isn't for everybody, or this isn't for everybody. All those years that they spent going back and forth to New York 3 and 4 times a week and auditioning and doing this and doing that. Even though my son's degree now is in creative writing, and my daughter is basically, she's from the time she was little, she's loved politics. So she wants to teach history, all of those things, and being in a room with adults and having to learn a script and having to learn how to interact with adults and strangers. It will help them in this lifetime. Right. And they're kind people. Yeah. And that's all. So for any parents out there, child, just don't raise no asshole and you're fine. That's it.
I concur.
Aaron, I just want to say again, I just love you so much. And I knew that who I watched was who I was going to get when I did this recording. And it just makes me so happy. I was so excited when you said yes. Y'all, it was so funny because Aaron is busy. But you know how you can pick up on some things about people. And when me, him, and Elle and Zach were recording, I said, Aaron, do you check your DMs? He was like, yeah. Okay, well, no. And I said, I'm sending you a message. So because I was going to reach out to you, but I was like, he probably gets so inundated. And I know how I am. My platform isn't even near as big, but I know how I am sometimes. It's like, so sometimes you just don't look at it. So I was like,
normally when people want to collab, I take a pause. I take a second. But when you asked me on there, I was like, because I felt your energy, I felt your vibe, and I like it. I really do. I like you.
Oh my gosh, y'all! If y'all can't see me, I'm smiling from ear to ear. Gap is on full effect.
You seem genuine, and your commentary is good. And we agree on a lot of stuff. Usually, when I be up here with people, it's like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" We agree with it, which is fine. I love disagreeing. I love debating. I love arguing. But we actually kind of see eye to eye. So I'm kind of surprised about that. But you have a very genuine spirit. So I was like, yeah.
Let me tell you, I was so happy. You don't even know. The funny thing was when Elle called me that day, I was like, she was like, House of Aaron. She will tell you, I was like, yeah, so I've wanted to have him on my platform, but I'm trying to kind of see how I can go about, because in this, you got to be strategic too. And I always try to make a genuine connection. One thing I have learned is that just having names, interviewing housewives and all that, could my podcast have grown by leaps and bounds? Probably, because people will come over to hear the housewife. But to me, when I have them on, I'm not even really trying to hear about the show. I want to learn about the housewife behind the housewife, which I'm saying that to say, I only have people on who I genuinely want to talk to, whether they're a content creator, whether they're a housewife, or whether they're somebody that has followed me and we've had good commentary and DMs. And I'm like, I want you to come on the show. So I feel like that'll ring through and it'll be good in the long run for me.
I wish I could say the same. I strive to have people on who I am genuinely interested in. My favorite interviews are people who I am genuinely interested in. Sometimes it's just business. It's like, okay, you're my favorite, whatever.
Now listen, if somebody came to me and I wasn't interested, but they came to me, yeah, come on, because we gonna do it.
Right. Yeah.
But to exert your energy.
How far away are you from DC?
Like 40.
Like an hour?
Not even a 4 hour. Why you coming to DC?
I want later this year, and I want to do a whole, I want to be out there for maybe like 3-4 days, and I want to have different people on, just book a hotel room and just set up a little podcast studio, or maybe I'll just rent out a studio. I want to have different people on. So when I come up there, Taria,
I'm coming. I'm already there.
Okay.
You want me to bring something? I'm already there. What you want? You look, I'm going into my mode. You want me to bring you some water? Are you drinking enough water, Aaron?
Listen, just you.
How old are you?
28.
The fact that I'm looking at you.
Wait, what?
And my oldest daughter is 1 year younger than you. Now, wait, now I got to do the math. She was born in 97.
Yeah, 1 year younger.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But it's in my spirit. I'm going to keep saying my spirit is youthful.
Mm-hmm. Your spirit, you look youthful. What? You have 3 kids, adult age?
Yes, 27, 22, and 20. I turned 47 in April.
When you told me that, I was like, in my head, I wasn't trying to act. I was like, what?
Give me all the shots.
Taria, you look good.
Oh, thank you. See, you saying that, seriously, I will now go to the gym when I get off here, because I was debating on whether or not consistency. So I was like, maybe I'll skip today, but you saying that is going to make me get up and go.
No, you look good.
Oh, thank you.
I really like you. I'm not even joking.
I feel this. I already knew that. I just needed you to. I knew from watching you, but I'm telling you, y'all, I'm telling you, I was trying to figure out ways to get Aaron when he would do his Fashion Nova fits. I would like comment and I'll be like, okay, I got to catch a time when he's like interacting with, I'm going to get him. And I got him. I'm so excited.
You got me. Yeah.
If you don't, I'm going to send you all my information. So check your DMs when we get off. But if you don't, if you come to DC and don't contact me, I'm coming to Atlanta.
No, I'm definitely. And then maybe we can hang it. Now, listen, maybe, I don't know if you want to do the podcast and then just mosey on back to Baltimore.
Yeah, we can hang out.
But I like to go out to eat. I'm a drinker. I don't know if you're a drinker.
We can do all the things.
Okay.
I am in. We can do all the things.
Okay. I'm excited.
And I'm just letting the hubby know, hey, be home a little late.
Okay. Yeah. I'm out. We're out tonight.
I'm taking the train in, because I could always take the train in, so I didn't have to drive. My brother used to live in DC. He still has a house there, but him and his fiance just moved to New Orleans in December. So so DC is literally 45. Well, it used to be 45 minutes, but the bridge that I used to take pretty much every day, the Key Bridge that's right near my house, is no longer. So I'm
building up a network of people who live out there. You, Busy Blue, Preston, I'm cool. Busy Blue, you know him?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Well, he lives in DC, like somewhere in Virginia.
Okay, I've seen him. Preston, yes, he was on the podcast, and I'm actually friends with one of his good friends. Shout out to Carlos.
Yeah. I want to connect with him. Your DJ Richie Sky is out there.
My boo, yes. That's one of
and some other folks. But it's a lot of y'all in that area.
It's a lot of us.
Yeah.
We can already say young, black, and gifted, but young in spirit for me, black and gifted.
And I like it up there because it's blacky black. I love that.
So, okay, then speaking of that, DC, Atlanta. You love Atlanta. Would you ever move? And if so, where would it be?
Ooh, New York.
Okay.
New York is like I could stay in Atlanta for the rest of my life and die happy.
Okay.
But if I had to choose a place, and I may move to New York just to say I did, and then
Yes.
may move back. But yeah, New York, that's my dream, New York City. New York City
I-
is my dream. When growing up, I was always a LA person, like Hollywood, LA,
Okay.
like, and then I went to LA a couple of times. LA is cute, but it's nothing but like a beachy Atlanta, really like a beachy, trafficy, it gives the same, everything is so spread out, everything is 45 minutes away, just
Yes.
like Atlanta. And I'm not a beachy person anyways. New York though, I'm an urban girly. I'm a city girly. I love the skyscrapers. I like people don't like the rats. I don't like the rats either. But I don't mind like the grittiness of it. Like the
Yes.
trash bags on the street don't bother me. The fact that everything is kind of dirty and chaotic, that is not, I live for that. So New
But
York City.
there's still beauty in it. To me, there's
It's a
still beauty in
so
it.
much beauty, so much character, the history behind it. I mean, greatest city in the world, New York.
So my son, well, him and my daughter would have to go to New York, like I said. So for 8 years, we go to New York 4, 5, 6 times a week. So I get what you mean by that. But then he went to college at Chapman University, which is in Orange County, California.
Hmm.
Very different. It's the laid back, but it's not a hustle. The hustle is different down there
Hmm.
than in New York. And I always say, my analogy for New York, when people ask, New York is like a hooker. You're excited to get there. You get in it. It takes all your money. And when you leave, you're drained of energy.
It's a scary city, and I think that's why I have so much hesitation with actually making the move. Because not only do you have the financial aspect
Yes.
of it, and I want to live a certain way. Like in Atlanta, there's a standard of living that you can have at a low,
Yes.
cost.
Mhm.
And you're expected, like Atlanta's like it's kind of flashy. Like you're expected to have certain things. You're expected to have a nice car. You're expected to have a nice place. You're expected to be wearing designer. Like, and if
Okay.
you don't, people look at you like, okay, who is this? But you can pretend to be that person or appear to be that person with like a budget of $0.
Okay.
In New York City, it's like living in a box in a dump for an astronomical price. I could be living in a whole 5 bedroom house in the suburbs of Atlanta with the money that I'm putting into a shoebox to rent from somebody in New York City. So
Yes.
that aspect scares me. And it just seems like just a monster of a city. So I am a bit nervous. I'm a bit scared. I don't know when I'm gonna make the jump, but maybe one day in life I want to move there for a period of time.
I was going to say, even if you I know this may sound like what would be the point, but I know my brother, before he moved to New Orleans, him and his fiance got an Airbnb for like a month and a half in the area they
I was
wanted to
thinking
live
about
in.
that.
And they just to see, and that's what that made them okay.
I was thinking about that. I don't have a man. I don't have, I'm self-employed, so I don't have like a job that I have to clock into, and I don't have children. So, I have the perfect lifestyle to do
Yes.
something like that. So I will consider that. Yeah.
And I would definitely come take the megabus train or drive up to Hamilton Station and hop on the train and come see you because I'm familiar with
Yes.
all that. I miss New York. The last time I've been was in 2019 because I would drive. We would either take the megabus, drive to New York, or drive to a station in Jersey and take the train in. And when my son got his license, I said, "You gonna start taking you and your sister to the auditions because Mama is because I had no like it was devoted to them." And
Yeah.
then the pandemic hit and everything was self-tape. And then if you didn't live, there came a point where if you didn't live in New York, you weren't coming in and out for auditions because of what was going on. And that's when they kind of made their transitions into other things. So I missed. Y'all let me know in New York on 27th Street if they still have $2 pizza. It's probably $2.75 now with the cost of inflation. But you can get a cheese pizza and a can of soda for $2.
I haven't even, them pizza places on the corner. I don't really like them places. I like I'm a hot dog. I'm a hot dog type of
Okay.
person.
I just had hot dogs last night. I love,
Love.
what do you eat on your hot dog? And I'm asking,
Wait. Why do I feel like for the longest time we were living in a period where everyone was dragging hot dogs? Like it was
Yes.
so unpopular to like hot dogs.
Wait, Aaron. This is crazy that we're connecting like this because tonight, when I was gonna make dinner. I was gonna make a video, right? And I was like, I'm gonna tell them, just a little bit of what y'all doing. I'm making hot dogs, and I said, I'm not getting ready to say I make hot dogs because they're gonna be all in my comments like,
You eat
So,
hot dog? Like, girl, shut up.
hot dogs are okay. So how do you eat them? And I ask you because me and my
Yeah.
girlfriend, I will never let her live this down. Her son, my nephew, is 10 years old, and we had a girls' night. And we played like a couples game, but like with girlfriends or whatever. She was my partner, and we had to answer questions. And one of the questions was, how do they like their hot dog? And I could not believe she didn't remember that I like my hot dog with a whole lot of ketchup and then one thin line of mustard. Now, if it's fried, I split it open, fry it, and then do hot sauce and mustard.
What do
So
you
how do
mean fry it?
Oh, I'll split it open, put the frying pan on the stove, lay it open like that, fry it till it gets like a little burnt on one side,
Okay.
flip it over, and then I put hot sauce and mustard on it, and it's almost like a hot sausage.
I never had hot sauce on a hot dog.
Only when it's fried.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you can wait till you come up here. I will host you, and I'm gonna make you some fried. Mom's gonna be like, I know you're not making fried hot dogs, but they're really, really good. But how do you eat your
They
hot
sound
dog?
good.
It's
I
really
like mine super burnt. I don't care how you cook it.
Ooh,
And you can make it in the oven, you can put it in the air fryer, you can put it on the grill. But I like them crispy burnt, damn near burnt. Um, at Hudson Grill, which is like an El Cheapo restaurant here, they have these poppy seed buns, super soft with like these sesame poppy seeds. I don't know, on the side of the bun. So good. In on the inside of it, I like chili, I like cheese, maybe
okay.
jalapenos and ketchup. I'm simple.
Okay, you said that's simple. Okay, so in my food, I'm like, when it comes to food, I'm very simple. My son looked up something and told me I had some phobia. I don't like trying new foods.
I
Like I
don't
don't
either.
try new foods.
I
And
don't either.
I hate when my friends make it a focus when we go out to dinner because my girlfriend says that I have a kid's palate. I like what I like. So if we're
Mm,
going to somewhere fancy, it's going to be a steak. If we're going, I
okay.
don't eat seafood, so I'm
I
very
don't either.
like, see this.
Well, I may have some shrimp and some salmon. Shrimp is the only shellfish I eat. I didn't grow up eating shellfish, so mussels and
Okay,
crawfish and crabs and lobsters. I don't eat none of that.
me
Mm-mm.
neither. I just, and I hate when people say you just haven't had it baked right or fried right. I've tasted it all ways. I do not like it. I don't like the
Mm.
taste, and I think I have a texture thing. Like I don't like cooked oatmeal. I don't like watermelon. Something about I used to, but something about the texture. I don't like bananas. So there's certain things. So when it comes to food, I'm very in my box. Like
I'm the
I
same
like
way.
meat and potatoes. You can never go wrong with a good meat and potatoes and a vegetable.
I'm the same way. I do not venture off when it comes to food.
Oh my God. Let me
And
tell you.
if I do, I evolve. It takes me a long time. I didn't start eating pickles until like 2, 3 years ago. Never tried a pickle ever in my life until like 2, 3 years ago. I'm like, I
Really?
used to didn't eat jalapenos, but now I like it. But it was like years and years and years up into the to that point. Usually I stay within my same box. Next, I want to try eggs. You know how they do like the seafood boils with the eggs? It looks good to me, but like you said, the texture, the smell, but
Mhm.
the texture too, it's like, oh, that look good, but the texture, I can't get over a hard-boiled egg. That is disgusting.
I grew up hating all kinds of eggs. And then this is so funny. Like years ago, like early 2000s, I tried an egg, like a fried egg, and I was like, because I'm supposed to eat protein, working out. I was like, okay, it's not bad. So I can eat eggs now. It's not my go-to, but I can eat. Well, I wouldn't even say it's not my go-to. Like for breakfast, if we go out to like a IHOP or somewhere, I can eat it with like some Tabasco sauce, but it's not like oh, I love me some eggs. But it took me a while too.
Not even scrambled.
No, it is, they have to be scrambled. No,
Okay, okay,
hard
okay.
boiled, I can only eat, what is it? At cookouts and stuff. What are they?
Oh, like the
Deviled egg.
deviled eggs.
Yes,
Okay.
I just started eating those a couple years ago, so I
Never
consider
had
that
them.
hard boiled. I used to tell my friend, could she put potato salad instead of whatever that mix was. Put the potato salad in the egg. But now I can eat hard boiled. I can eat not hard boiled. What we just said. Oh my God, what are they called?
Devil.
Devil. I can eat her
Or
deviled
the
egg.
angel eggs is what they call them, the Christians.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
Mhm.
never thought about that. You know, I never thought about that. Oh my gosh. But my friends and I have gotten into not into it over food, but I don't like when they would try to food shame me. So they eased up off me when they were like, you never try anything, you never do anything, you never, and I would tell them, in my whole life, I've always lived outside of the box. Me doing this, trying this new career thing, not being in an office, not being this, that's living in faith. That's stepping out of the box. Me wanting to only eat certain foods, let me have my box. So until y'all quit y'all regular jobs and pursue your dreams, like it went there because I was tired of them food shaming me.
And I hate how people make you seem uncultured. Like, sis, let me, especially if I'm on vacation or on a trip, baby, I done flew down here, spent all this money. I'm stressed. My body is out of whack. I'm in a different time zone. Can I at least eat something that I want to eat?
Oh, Aaron, oh my gosh.
And they try to make it seem like you need to open your palate is.
Yes. You are so unrefined. I was under a post. I had to get off the post because it triggered me. It was like, imagine flying to somewhere and getting wings. That's actually what I look forward to. And I like how you said my body's stressed. I'm at a different time. My nervous system, I need to eat something that's going to calm me. I want my all flats.
Who wants to spend $80 on a plate and then you go home hungry, go back to the hotel hungry?
I said, I'm not one. And it's funny because my mom, she's like, well, I think differently now. Before she would always say, don't eat your money. Don't eat your money. Don't eat your money. So when I was younger, I would get money when I go to the store. She taught me not to eat my money. So now I tell my husband, I'm a cheap date when we go out. Now she's like, oh, well, it's about experience. And I said, well, for 15, 16 some years, you told me. So I'm very used. I'm not a person that likes to spend a lot of money on food. I would rather buy shoes or a bag than spend my money on food.
I'll spend the money on the drinks. Okay, I don't want dessert. I want a cocktail.
Yeah, yes. So me and my husband, when we got married, he grew up military family, 6 of them. They would have dinner and then they would have dessert. I didn't grow up always having dessert. We had dinner, we may have a snack or whatever. But so when we got together, I'm like, oh, a dessert.
Does he eat dessert like every meal?
Not now, no, because he's gotten used to after 22 years.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I never understood people like that. Like
every
time we go out to eat, oh, do you want a dessert menu?
Oh, no, wait a minute. No. Okay. At home, no. When we go out, yes.
No.
We literally were just, he did, we and the kids randomly, we went to, I love Red Robin, and we went to Red Robin, and he didn't get a dessert because he got the whatever milkshake, like the peanut butter, this, that whatever milkshake. But he gets dessert and he will bring it home too if he can't finish it there. So yes, he is one of those. He's one of those, go to the movies, got to have popcorn, got to have the whole experience.
Okay. Do y'all need an appetizer, a starter?
Yes. Him, mozzarella sticks. I just want the meal.
Yeah, I'm so basic.
Me
give
too.
Me my cocktail, give me my water.
Yes. My water,
give me my entree.
That's how I am. I don't need dessert, and I do not need a mozzarella stick. But we got and we had the kids with us, got the bill. I said, our bills don't normally look like this when they're in school. What is all this? Because so now they order like him too. My son, do you have mozzarella stick? Mm-hmm. Your meal is coming.
I only need the entree. I remember I went to somewhere. I was out of town with my friend, and I was taking care of my friend. I was like, I got it. When I tell you desserts and starters, appetizers, and oh yeah, I want to try this, and the most expensive, I think their meal had like lobster on it. It was like a $40 plate, and then they had like a I'm like, I only have one cocktail. They ordered 2 cocktails. I'm like, oh okay. Like I forgot you wanted those. I'm like, damn, I spent more money on you than I did on myself.
Yeah, like I'm just not. Cool. I'm not like that when it comes to food. I'm very, very, give me my pizza, my hot dogs, my burgers. I'm a burger eater. Give me my chicken and give me my beef, and I'll eat pork. But
you eat pork?
Yes,
See, of course, the hot dogs. So, yeah, that's another thing that I'm sick of the society about. Like this whole we don't eat beef, we don't eat pork. I'm so sick of that. Like we used to be a society, and I feel like we've totally
we used to
lost
be
it.
a proper society. I think about growing up, eating scrapple, bacon, all of that stuff,
Okay,
running
I never
around.
ate no scrapple now. I never ate no scrapple. I don't even know what it is. I ain't never ate no spam.
Okay, now spam, I will say I wasn't the biggest.
It looks good. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look gross.
Growing up during the times when we had to eat it at times, if you know what I mean, my mom would and dad would fry it with mustard. So it was a little better, but once we got away from that, I never went back. Some people may still love it. And I don't even really like salami like that. Like I'll eat but when I go to Subway and get a sub or whatever, I tell them, take the salami off and just put my ham and my pepperoni. And my sub order is very basic. Lettuce, 1 tomato, cut in half, salt, pepper, oregano. I don't need all the extra stuff.
We're the same. We're literally the same.
Aaron, I can't
lettuce, tomatoes, my turkey, my mayonnaise, my ranch. They be like, that's it. That's it. That's it.
I text him and I'll say, this is all I want. And he will text me back and be like, dry. So the last time he picked it up, I text in all caps, I only want this, nothing else, because it'll throw me off. If I'm not can't eat it now. It has thrown me off. My grandmother had a food, and I don't know what you'd want to call it. Her food couldn't touch, and her mom used to make, oh my God, like platery. I'm saying the wrong word, but like plates, pottery,
like pottery, ceramics. Yeah,
she had a plate that it was like ovals, and it almost looked like it had like 4 points. So she would have some food here, some food there. So it couldn't touch. And you would see her as she ate, she would make sure she moved and her food could not touch. And I was like, she gave me some type of eating something. I don't know what it was.
You do that too? Or
I don't mind it touching, but I am very particular about my food.
Okay.
So where I have the like I was never just like, oh yeah, I can eat it. Like I'm very particular about my food. So it can touch, but there's still something about my food that's very particular. And if I come in and I'm like, I could be hungry. No, thank you. You don't look right. No, thank you. I just won't eat. So, or they do the most. I remember my aunt made string beans one time and put onions in them. Who does that?
It'd be that one thing to just be like,
and I can't eat it now.
I can't eat it. It's a mental thing, yeah.
Stomach touching my back.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I fell in love too. Oh my God.
I love you.
I'm so excited. I will send you all my information. Y'all, for those of y'all listening and watching, see how much fun we talked housewives. We talked even a little bit of kind of sort of, well, not really politics, but kind of sort of really, we talked real life. And I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of Aaron. I can tell y'all right now, this is definitely not Aaron's last time by far. Now hit him up like, I need you to come back.
Yes, definitely.
So I don't even want to insult you by saying, where can the people find you? But if for some reason they don't know where they can find you, where can they find you?
You can find me at, let's see, YouTube at Haus of Aaron, HAUS. Haus of Aaron, 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 Haus of Aaron on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
That Aaron, you gonna make me
Aaron. That's what everyone they say. Aaron. It's like, so I guess I've embraced it now.
Yeah,
because it's been like 15 years of Aaron.
Aaron,
how people recognize the double A Aaron. So.
I love that. I knew about double A Aaron in kindergarten because I had a friend named Aaron Shropshire and his was a double A. And so I just assumed everybody's name named Aaron, unless it was the people I knew that were girls were ERIN, but a male Aaron, I always double ARON. So I get it. And y'all, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the video. You follow the podcast and let us know what you think about the episode, whether you agree, disagree, respectfully. We can have some good dialogue in the comments. Y'all know that I love y'all so much. I don't take your support for granted. I love the community we've built, and we will talk to y'all later. Go eat some hot dogs. See y'all.